Repulso. No, it's if this was a big game from a big company and we didn't like it, we would definitely be using I am repulsed by this game. But this is a game in which you are trying to form groups and you need to force your pieces to where they go rather than put them in the spot. I'll show you. In Repulso, each player gets the playing pieces of their color and 6 action pieces. On your turn, you can do one of two things. You can place a piece on the board on any square. When you place it down, though, you may not place it orthogonally adjacent to one of your pieces that's already on the board. That's not allowed. Now, when you place one of these pieces out, so let's say, for example, blue is here. If I place this piece here, for example, I'm going to move, this repulses, these action repulses all of these. I'm going to take this piece and I can move it as far as I want, or as far as I can, in a row or column. So let's say I move it over here. Then my opponent must do the same thing. And what you're trying to do in this game is you are trying to form groups of yours, but you can't place them down like that. You're going to have to force them into those positions. Because if the whole board is filled with discs, then whoever has the fewest groups, and remember, a single one by itself counts as a group, is the winner. But also, if you can force your opponent to where they cannot play a piece legally, you will also win. So on your turn, you place one of your colors, or you place one of these, and move the discs thusly. This one is such an intriguing game. For me anyway, I really find this one to be fascinating because you want to put a piece down and you want to force your pieces and so you can slide them together in groups. And I find that to be a fascinating idea.
It's interesting that this is another one that has sort of 2 pieces that can go, you were talking about sort of 2 different pieces fit into it. The board isn't quite set up that way, but it has that idea of you play a piece that does nothing, just blocks a space, will never move again, just to move other pieces, but you can affect your opponent. And the pieces have to go as far as they can go. You choose the direction, but they have to, go as far as they can to hit something. And again, it has a little bit of that obtuse feel where it's like you want to play next to your own pieces, but this game says, no, you cannot do that. You have to do that by, the repulsion of the pieces. It's so bizarre. It's the one that also has the sort of longest gameplay, so it evolves better than a lot of the other ones. This was interesting. It's a little more traditional in some ways.
Yeah.
But with a couple of twists that make it different and just bizarre enough where it intrigues me. It sort of perks my ears up and I go, oh, what? I got to do... Okay, I'll try it. It's bizarre. And then it evolves as you're playing, which I do enjoy.
I don't know, like, when you get really good at the game, how it is, but mathematically, I would say, from the games I've played, it seems to be 60% end where someone can't move. Mm-hmm. And 40% you then score looking at the groups, which is kind of a weird thing, because if you know that, then you'd be like, forget the groups. I'm just going to try to force it so you can't play.
Yeah.
But if you can wiggle out of that, then I've lost. So you got to go for that main aspect of the game. And that's maybe, like I said, once people know the game, they're like, well, you can always finish.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Right.
So there's that. But I'm still at that beginning phase. But I kind of like that crossroads of those 2 end game goals. And it's not particularly hard. The first time I played, I missed the rule where you had to move the piece as far as you had to. And I kind of like that. It was even made the game even more strategic because you can move it where you want it to. You had to move it, but you can move it where you want it to. And so there was some more maneuvering.
But then you can't mess up your opponent, because you have to move their pieces. When you put a white piece, everything around it moves. This way, I can maybe force you to keep going past a place you'd love to stop.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like it a lot. What about you?
I like it. Yeah, I like this one too. I like it about as much as the last one we talked about here. So I'm going to come down to a 7 on this one as well. I think I like the quirkiness of the other game just a hair more with the termite mounds and that's a little bit weirder. It's a little bit funkier. This one feels slightly more traditional. Putting pieces out, trying to make big groups, and then you introduce that one piece that pushes them and adds motion to the board and livens up the whole thing. That's what I like about it. I like those 2. You play a piece, pretty standard, or then you play one and it pushes things and it feels kinetic. I like that feel.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm giving this an 8. This one feels very in line with big abstract games. Like
Yeah.
if the Yinch series, the Gift series made this, I could see this being one of their games.
I hear you. Yeah.
And it has that classic feel. I like games like Othello and whatever. You're making groups and it works, but it's also very interactive. It's very mean in some ways, and you like that. But knowing when to use those blocking pieces, the first time you play, you start using them, and you're like, oh, the second time I played, no one uses them, but you're like, we have to. You have to know when to use them, and I like it. It works well, and also looks very clean on the table too.
Yeah. It's easy to score also.
So that's Repulso.